And that is how you have an open of a show, open of a brand. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Monday to everybody, and welcome into your new favorite sports and sports betting show of record. I am the coach. I navigate this little ship here on our YouTube channel, but also today we launch all over the world in over 100 million homes on Stadium and all of their apps. How are you going to find us? Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, Roku TV. We're going to be live every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern time with the best sports information in the business. Now, if you don't catch us live, you can also catch us at 3 p.m. Eastern time as well. Also, here at the Behind the Turnbuckle universe, we are a brand. We have several shows underneath that brand. 11 p.m. Eastern every single Monday night. Me, Big Tommy C, Gabby, we've got The Last Word, our pro wrestling show. So the bottom line is this. We are in lockstep now with Stadium. That's the way it's always wanted to be. So we've got sports betting, we've got combat sports, and we have pro wrestling. So it's time to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, we want you every single day. On your way in, hit that like button for us. It really helps the show grow. And I'm telling you right now, I got the best crew in the business. It's time to beat the books. Oh, yes. Now, today, you're going to introduce to some familiar faces. And when Stadium called me and said, hey, we want you to have a brand new show, I said myself, they said, hell no, we need you to bring your friends with you. And that's exactly what we have done. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, he is our numbers guy for a reason. Anything numbers related, anything odds related, you will come to him. Please welcome to Coach and Company for the very first time, Rafael Esparza. Hello, Rafael.
Hello, Coach. Good morning, company. What a great day. What a great way to start Monday. And wow, the Chiefs won yesterday. What a shock.
Oh, did you notice that? The Chiefs did get to the Super Bowl. Next, he is from South Florida. He is a huge part of the ESPN radio family, and we are thrilled to have him a part of ours here. Please welcome the Z-Man, Jonathan Zaslow. Hello, sir.
Yo, good morning, everybody. I got to tell you, my biggest takeaway from those games yesterday, my team, the Miami Dolphins, they are light years away. Light years away from those teams we saw on display yesterday. There's no other way to spin it.
No other way to spin it. We'll get all into that. We'll look at the weekend in review. We'll look ahead, betting the futures, all that coming up here on the show. Next, he called me. He said, Coach, if you're launching on Monday, January 27th, damn it, I'm going to be on that show. I said, hey, come right along. He is live from Memphis, Tennessee. He is the voice of the Memphis Grizzlies post-game show. You guys know him. DG, hello, sir.
Morning, Coach. Good morning, guys. I want to give a special shout out to the guy that's not on camera, and that is the producer, man. How this looks, the time, the effort that's been put in behind the scenes.
Ooh.
Dude, hats off, round of applause for sure, because we're now seeing the real personality just blossom onto the screen, and it looks glorious.
Sometimes you just got to let people grow. You know what I mean? You got to let people grow. Producer man is the best in the business. You're going to see it across the entire shows, the entire brands. And finally, do not let the nice guy face fool you. He's an absolute savage. He will be on the show. He will be in the chat. He is the man from the dirty. Good morning, Big Chuck.
Morning, Coach, man. Company. Yeah, exciting times. Yeah, shout out to Niels. That looks great. Yeah, and congratulations to your chefs. We got to replay a Super Bowl 57. It should be a good one.
Yes, we could. How about Charles throwing that out there right at the start of the show? All right, before we get to our picks, because we will have best bets here every single day at the top of the show. But Z, let me come back to you because we now have the Eagles and the Chiefs, and they did it in two completely different ways. You have the Eagles that scored 55, and the Commanders, they've got a lot of work to do on defense. And then you had the Chiefs, fourth time in 5 seasons, they knock out the Bills in the playoffs, and they have a chance to do what no other team has even had the ability to try, and that's win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Which performance for you is more impressive?
I mean, the Eagles left no doubt. So that part is obviously super impressive. I mean, that was not a game the final 30 minutes, but I don't know how you don't go with the Chiefs. It's funny because for the whole season, we've been talking about, all right, 3 in a row. Nobody's ever won 3 in a row in the Super Bowl era. But the Chiefs already accomplished history last night because no team has gone back to back and then even gotten back to the Super Bowl.
That's
The
right.
third consecutive year. I feel like no one talked about, I'm not even sure that I knew that. And so last night, the Chiefs, they already made history. Now, it doesn't matter if they don't actually go on and win the Super Bowl, but they just did something last night that hasn't been accomplished yet. I'm super impressed with the Chiefs. Josh Allen and the Bills, the thing with them is they keep beating Josh Allen and the Bills where Josh Allen continues to have huge games. It's not like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens can't get over the hump because Lamar can't put together back-to-back performances in the playoffs. He has a dud, and that's how the Ravens wind up losing. Josh Allen is always great in all of these games. He's just getting outdueled by Patrick Mahomes.
It's got to be incredibly frustrating. You saw Josh Allen after the game. He had to literally compose himself and then answer. And it was like one line, DG. It was to beat to be a champion, you got to beat the champion. We didn't do it. At this point, I feel awful for the Bills, but I'll ask you the same question. Of the two performances yesterday, which was to you more impressive?
Yeah, the Eagles showed out, right? But they went against a team in Washington that nobody expected to be there just in general. But my God, the coaching, what we saw from Andy Reid and his staff, starting the game off the way they did, everybody expected them to be more run heavy. They came out passing it and kind of getting the receivers kind of squared away in that. Like, I just think that Andy Reid and his staff just coach circles around Buffalo and their staff. And so I know everybody's talking about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, the big names, but it is Andy Reid consistently being the better coach on the sideline.
Rafael. He's also the all-time leader in wins for the Philadelphia organization, too. This is all about Andy Reid. Give me 30 seconds. What's more impressive to you?
I think the Eagles' defense was really impressive yesterday, but the Chiefs, I mean, and if you're the Buffalo Bills, you have to knock out the champs, not just beat the champs, knock out the champs, and they didn't. They needed to win by 2 scores if Buffalo needed to win less, and they didn't.
Chiefs also?
You got to roll with the Chefs, especially since they got down in the third quarter. They come back and made the adjustments in the fourth quarter, took the lead, and they held on to that lead to prevail. But the most dominant performance was definitely the Eagles.
How about Saquon Barkley scoring on his first 2 touches of the game? 60 yards to the house right at the beginning. Coming up in about, 10 minutes from right now, we're going to bet the futures, a brand new segment here at Coach and Company, and look forward to an early look at the Super Bowl. All right, what about our best bets for the very first day here on Coach and Company? Z, I'm coming over to you. I have no idea what you're playing, but I know I'm going to love it. Start us off.
Oh, well, I mean, here's the only idea you need to know about. I'm giving you nothing but winners here, all right? So, the Orlando Magic are given 1 point tonight at the Miami Heat. Now, you can see, I got my Heat shirt, of course. I'm 305 till I die. Miami Heat, that's my squad, of course. I mean, come on, everybody knows this. But here's the thing. Jimmy Butler has served his 2-game suspension. He's back tonight in the lineup. And as long as Jimmy Butler is in the lineup for this team, it's dead team walking. So we're going to fade the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler in the lineup. The Orlando Magic -1. That's the play tonight, even though the game is in Miami. And then I got an NBA parlay for you. All right. Look, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I got the Milwaukee Bucks, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Sacramento Kings. Money line for all 3 of those teams. The Bucks, they're at the Jazz. I don't know if you know this. That team sucks. The Mavericks, they're taking on the Wizards. I don't know if you know this. That team sucks. The Kings, they're at the Nets. I don't know if you know this. Everybody say it with me. That team sucks. Milwaukee, Dallas, Sacramento money line, -140. It's a pretty penny to pay, but when you cash out, nobody cares.
How much I love you. Oh, my God, that was hysterical.
Just put them. It's very lovable.
All right, those are our first 2 bets ever in this universe. By the way, Big Soupy's in the chat. You guys want any questions for him? He'll answer them for you in real time. All right, DG, I'm coming over to you, big boy. What do we got today on a Monday?
Yeah, we're going to go the first game of the day, and that's going to be Miles Bridges to go over the 18.5 points. It's at -105. He's had 20 points in 10 of the last 13 games, which is important. But also the Lakers, they allow the 8th most points to the small forward position. So I expect Miles Bridges, who's playing on a terrible Charlotte Hornets team, all he cares about is points. Go ahead and get him up, buddy. And then we're going to go to the last game of the day, and that is Nick Richards. We're going to go over the 9.5 rebounds. It's at minus 115. Nick Richards, he's averaging 12.25 rebounds since coming over to Phoenix. They're going against Zubac there with the Clippers, but that tough matchup that the Clippers offer there, I don't think it's an issue because it actually allows Nick Richards to not be played off the court. They need a big guy to get the rebounds. So I'm going to roll with Nick Richards to go over 9.5 rebounds at minus 115.
Boom. Rafael, big boy, coming over to you. What do you like today?
We already phrased that the Charlotte Hornets suck. So that's why I'm taking the Lakers team total over 113.5. The Lakers have been playing some really good ball, winning 3 straight, 5 out of their last 6. In their last 5 meetings against Charlotte, they're averaging 124 points a game. This is going to be another blowout for the Lakers. I like the way they've been playing. Their bench is playing really well. AD is playing really well. I think they just take care of Charlotte pretty easily. So give me the Lakers team total over 113.5. I would even take 114.5 at plus a nickel just because that's how confident I feel like with the Lakers. And then give me Zion Williams over 21 points tonight, minus 110. Yes, the Pelicans still suck. But this big boy is going to eat, and he's been eating a lot if you watch him play. I think he has a monster game tonight, 21 points. He had 24 points his last game. I think he is improving. He's getting his legs underneath him, so I think Zion has a big game. Maybe they'll win, maybe they won't, but Zion will have a big game tonight.
Boy, I tell you what, they've been scoring a lot of points, too. They've become an over team. I mean, 250, 260 against the Grizzlies a couple of times. So I really, really like them a lot tonight. All right, 2 of our favorite words here in the universe. Day, soccer. And on Mondays, it's a light schedule, but leave it to my man to find him some killer fire picks. Big Chuck, you're up.
Italy, Serie Venezia, Verona. We have ourselves a good old bottom of the barrel table battle with Venezia. They average 1.1 team goals at home, while Verona, they average 1.3 goals on the road, making this a prime both teams to score spot. And I like Verona as a dog in this one. And they actually, with Venezia allowing 6 first half goals, basically 60% first half goals in 10 matches. So go ahead and give me the first half over half a goal for Verona. And then La Liga Alaves welcomes Celta Vigo to the Basque Country. The Bean Sacks, they enter match day 21, averaging 1.1 team goals at home. And then we have the Celticos averaging 1.2 team goals on the road. Give me another both teams to score as we wrap up another match week in La Liga.
And this week, to kind of tease people a little bit, is it a Champions League week? Is it a league week? What do we got?
We got a little mixture of both, Coach. We have a little start out the week with some league. Then we have some Champions League, some Europa League. I even think we get some Europa Conference mixed in. Then we do it all back over with some league action on the weekend. You know how we roll. You'll get those texts.
Come on, big dog. That's how we roll. Of course it is. Real quick, we got 2 weeks. I got 45 seconds, Z. Do you like the week off in between the Super Bowl? What do you do as a fan with 2 weeks to go?
No, I don't like it. Why would I want to have not football when I could have football? No, I don't like the week off. And what do? I sit on the couch in the Zaslow Mansion family room, just waiting. That's all I do. I just wait for the football to return. Are these rhetorical questions? Do I like the week off? I don't need a break. What are you talking about?
You're going to have a little PTSD also because you've been busy all year long on the road, and now it just stops. It just stops. Yeah. But you look great at the national championship.
This was my first weekend. I had to find a way. I had to reconnect with the family. No travel this weekend. I had to learn the kids' names again, spend time with the wife. We did some reconnecting in the Zaslow Mansion.
And that's all I need to know. I like that a lot. All right, just getting started. Oh, it feels so good to be in a positive space. Now, still to come here on the show, we're going to look into the future. We're also going to be betting the futures and the weekend in review. It is Coach and Company. It's a Monday. We're on Stadium, and we're a vibe.
Last word, and you better make sure you are tuning in to the last word tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern time with myself, obviously Coach, and Tommy Carlucci, because it is about to be a stacked show. First, we're going to react to WWE Saturday Night Main Event, which there's a lot to talk about from there, but Do you even realize what time it is? What this week is? It's one of my favorite weeks of the entire year, and it is the week of the Royal Rumble. So of course, we will be giving our picks and predictions for the Royal Rumble, both men's and women's. What surprises will there be? Will there be returns? Who are we going to see from the other companies? There is just so much exciting stuff to talk about when it comes to the Royal Rumble. And of course, it is the go-home show for the Royal Rumble tonight on Netflix when it comes to Monday Night Raw, and we will be breaking that down for you as well. So what are you doing tonight? I hope you're joining us tonight because we're going to have some fun and we're going to be talking some pro wrestling, Royal Rumble, Saturday Night Main Event, Monday Night Raw. Let's get to it. It's about to be awesome. Myself, Coach Tommy Carlucci, the last word tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll see you there.
Oh, Gabby, she's going to be a rock star. Z, I know you've got your own wrestling show. Are you pumped up for the Royal Rumble this week?
Oh my God, am I pumped up for the Royal Rumble? You know what? You asked me, what do I do while I'm waiting for the Super Bowl? The timing of that is perfect, isn't it? Where this weekend, we do have something we could look forward to. Coming up on Saturday night, we got the Royal Rumble. I am very excited. I've been spending, my younger son is 13 years old, and each day for the last 2 days, and we're going to continue doing it leading up to this Saturday, we're watching old Royal Rumbles. And we're starting with like early ones where he's experiencing with me the Royal Rumbles of my childhood. So I get to explain the story. Oh, Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. This was their first time facing off in the middle of the ring. That was in the 1990 Royal Rumble. So yeah, we've been watching old Royal Rumbles, and it's cool watching him experience the wrestling of my childhood.
I hope that you're watching the two that I participated in, by the way, and almost won. One of them, I came down to the final 5. I was that close to main eventing WrestleMania. That close. So let me know what your son thinks about the coach getting eliminated by Ric Flair. All right, we're back live in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. It is Coach and Company, our launch today all across the stadium platforms. If you have DirecTV, if you have Amazon Prime Video, if you have YouTube TV, I've heard it's the biggest network in the country. Also, if you have Roku TV, and more is coming. We are available in well over 100 million homes. We'll be here twice a day, live at 10 a.m. Eastern Time and also at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, we've got a lot of new segments we're going to be rolling out as the days go forward, but on the Monday after the championship games, well, you got to look into the future. Oh, look at producer man doing it again. Rafael, we got to start with the numbers because they've already changed from what came out last night. So here are the current numbers according to DraftKings for the Super Bowl, a rematch from a couple of years ago. The Chiefs are the favorite at -1.5. The total has risen to 49.5. If you want to bet the Chiefs on the money line, it'll be -125. Back the other way, +105. Rafael, do you think the numbers are where they are going to be? Or do you foresee line movement very quickly?
I think Chiefs monies were probably going to come in late, maybe next week. The total's probably going to move maybe one more point. I think the betting public is going to look at the over of this game, just basically what the Eagles did yesterday, putting up a half a century on their 55 points. And we all know about Patrick Mahomes and Super Bowl presences. So I think the total moves. I'm hoping to get maybe 2.5 on the Chiefs because, no offense, Coach, I'm sorry, it's day one, but I'm leaning towards the Eagles in this game. Don't fire me yet. I just think the Eagles' defense was very impressive yesterday, what they did at Jane Daniels and that defense. I think we can see something a little bit different on the Eagles side, on the D side. But I need more points if I'm going to take the Eagles, though.
Rafael, might I remind you that there was a really good friend of mine, I believe his name was Rafael Esparza, who did a video, and I believe in that video he says, "Hey, Coach, I hate to say it, but whoever wins the Ravens and Bills will win the Super Bowl." Wah, wah, wah. Now, DG, let me come over to you because where the numbers are at right now, I'm a little bit shocked because the odds makers, because of the way the Chiefs have not dominated all year, they've been underdogs. In fact, yesterday I thought it would have gone off at 2.5 or 3, and ultimately it was like 1 or 1.5. Do you like where the numbers are right now initially?
Yeah, I do, because no matter what side you're betting, you're going to get fair prices for the most part. And the fact that this isn't a 3, 4, 5, whatever line just makes me happy that Vegas or the sports books think this is going to be a close game. That's really all I want in particular. But in all honesty, we're looking at a team that in the Chiefs going for a three-peat, but also you have Saquon Barkley just running wild. Can he run wild on the Chiefs? I don't think so. I think the Chiefs honestly have a good chance to three-peat. And I know that's going to not fall in line with how I feel about you, but I'm taking you out of this. I'm only thinking about the Chiefs.
You got to be objective and not subjective. But I'm glad you brought up Saquon Barkley, because Ziam, come over to you, and then I'll come to you, Charles. Saquon right now at DraftKings, there are some props that are already up. His number, like yesterday, was 124, and I thought, he runs for 60 yards on his first carry. I thought he sails over that. He didn't. He finished with 118. The number is gigantic. So right now, you can't bet a specific number, but 120 plus is his number. Do you think that's too high for a Super Bowl?
No, I don't think it's too high, because I think the big difference going into this game for these two teams, and specifically the quarterbacks, is, Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs don't win this Super Bowl if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a big game. The Eagles can win this Super Bowl if Jalen Hurts doesn't have a big game. And that's because Saquon Barkley has to have a huge game for the Eagles to win here. Just look at the Super Bowl MVP odds. Patrick Mahomes, he's the odds-on favorite at plus 180 the last time I checked. But right behind him, Saquon Barkley at plus 300, and then Jalen Hurts is plus 350. So that backs up what I just said, where the way for the Eagles to win this game, it has to be on the back of Saquon Barkley.
And Big Chuck, let me come over to you. Saquon continues to amaze us. And right now, his anytime touchdown number, he's the only player right now that is minus money. And it's minus 190 anytime touchdown. That's crazy, but that's how automatic he's been. In fact, a really good bet has been Saquon to score multiple touchdowns in a game. Your take?
You have to go multiple touchdowns. You also have to look at them to score the first touchdown. They usually, if they get the ball first, they're usually driving. They're going to feed him the ball. But just keep in mind, when Super Bowl 57, Jalen Hurts, he rushed for 70 yards when they met, and 3 rushing touchdowns. So he was on his legs. But I think Saquon takes a lot of that away. But yeah, you have to definitely look at the multiples and the first touchdowns when it comes to Saquon and the longest rush.
You're watching Coach and Company, very first day all across these stadium platforms. You can also catch us on our YouTube page. DG, when you look at specific players, well, Travis Kelce normally is a guy that, in order for the Chiefs to win, especially in the playoffs, he's got to have a big game. Well, yesterday, he had 2 catches for 19 yards. You had a lot of other players in the biggest moments. P. Ryan, Xavier Worthy, they all had like specific plays. So how much do you think that confidence they showed yesterday will carry over into the Super Bowl?
I think that confidence is going to be big, especially for the role players. But you have to look at the Chiefs. They let you just kind of think like, hey, we're going to just load up on Kelce. But no, they just kind of find the best matchup and whoever's open. And credit to Coach Andy Reid, but also Patrick Mahomes and finding his guys. Kelsey's going to have a tough time against Philadelphia. They're one of the stingiest against the tight end position. But on the other side, Dallas Goedert could run wild, because the Chiefs do struggle guarding against the tight end position. And so it could be, depending on what side you look at it, it could be a bad day for Kelce, but a good day for Goedert.
As we look at some of the early receiving props, A.J. Brown has the biggest number for the Eagles at 80 plus, and clearly Kelce has the biggest number for the Chiefs at 70 plus. But I think if fans just look at numbers and look at how the championship games went, they're going to be a little bit off, because you got to dig a little bit deeper. Just because both games sailed to the over, the numbers for the quarterbacks and everybody, they were not that big. In fact, most went under. Are you feeling an under game, not from the total, but just player props, or are you feeling a lot of over, Z?
I mean, I would go over on the props for the Eagles, but the Chiefs are really difficult to pinpoint when it comes to the props. Xavier Worthy is the one who had the huge game yesterday. Travis Kelce did not have a huge game. DeAndre Hopkins had just 1 catch. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is going to play in his first Super Bowl in a couple weeks. You tell me you can't see a huge game at a DeAndre Hopkins, maybe turning back the clock 4 or 5 years? The whole point that I'm trying to make is I feel like we know the guys for the Eagles who are going to show up and put up the numbers. And for Kansas City, it's very, very difficult.
Yesterday, the Chiefs had 8 different guys catch a pass. 8, including Kareem Hunt. On the ground, he went 17 for 64 and a touchdown. I don't know that I've ever seen a team, especially if you're talking about the Chiefs, that have more well-rounded, and those early season injuries, I think now they may have helped them, because now you've got a rookie in Xavier Worthy who has turned into the guy, whether it's on end arounds, whether it's on passes, when you need a first down, who do they go to? Xavier Worthy. So I think he's a guy that not a lot of people are talking about that maybe we should look at depending on his numbers heading into the Super Bowl.
I would agree with that, but there's other ways to look at it. I think the kickers might be something to look at in this. The last couple of Super Bowls in New Orleans, kicking game was huge. The field goals and points on that. That's why both games went over the total last Super Bowls. Even though one of the lights went out to the last Super Bowl we saw on this one. And keep an eye out. Tush push over under. I made it 2.5. Keep an eye out for that. And Kelce, will he retire no matter win or lose this game? Keep an eye out for that. So there's other ways to tackle the Super Bowl, as the books are asking me for close to $5K and prop bets they want this year. So keep an eye out for other prop bets to cash some money.
Wait a second. So you have to make almost 5,000 different lines for the Super Bowl?
I had a meeting last night, and they're trying to, with the storyline now of the Chiefs and Eagles repeat. Now we have Taylor Swift there again. Now we have Barkley and all this. There's different. If Washington was in there, they probably would ask for $3K. But this matchup, they're gonna want everything else in the kitchen sink.
Wow, are you going to have time for little old us over here at Coaching Company with all that work to do? By the way, guys, this is a true story. You guys know I have a little inside info from the Chiefs. I have a guy on the inside, and he told me that when Taylor Swift shows up, he goes, "We love having her here, but everything changes." He says the energy changes. She has, and I don't think this will shock you guys, a one full-time guy that is there when she does public stuff. So she's got a full-time security team, but she has one guy, and he's like, he does not play. Does that shock you, Z, that her security guard, when they get on site, they don't play? You don't get anywhere close to Taylor Swift. Shocking? Not to me.
No, I got the same thing. Well, why would I be shocked? I mean, I'm me and she's Taylor Swift, but like I got the same routine. No, I'm not shocked at all.
God, I love you. DG, I think that we're going to have to lean into, because you don't even know this yet, but I'm doing the Waste Management Phoenix Open. So I'm going to be working on Super Bowl Sunday. So you might have
working. That's a party. What are you talking about? Waste Management Phoenix
That is a party.
Open. Working. What are you trying to kid?
I know. They're making me. Do I tell the bosses the PGA Tour? No. We got pros here. So you might have to host our Super Bowl show. That's all I'm saying. Early on, we haven't even planned it yet. It's 2 weeks away. A lot of things can happen in a week, as we know. So, DG, the Taylor Swift props that Rafael is going to make. The over-under on times shown will probably be 10 or 11, because yesterday it was like cut. I was like, enough already. We get it. How many for you?
Oh, there's going to be so many, because everybody wants to see her, especially if you're trying to bring in a different audience. I know that all the OGs, I know us old heads, and everybody gets annoyed with it. But my little daughters, 100% will watch the Super Bowl and want to know, hey, Dad, is Taylor Swift at the game? Yes, she is at the game. And so I think that they're going to go crazy with this number, and I think they're going to show her as much as they possibly can. Because if you can bring in a different audience, bring in the little girls, I think that's huge, because you make them want to watch football, and you got a whole other area of your life.
Wait a second. Did you just say bring in another audience, like cross promote, all work together with brands to build up? Wait, that's crazy talk. That is just crazy talk, DG. But that's exactly what we're going to do also here at Coaching Company. All right, we are halfway home here on Stadium. Coming up, Charles will be in the chat for the next segment, and we're going to take our weekend in review. Where are my guys going? What did they like? What didn't they like? We'll tackle it all. Thanks for hanging out with us on day freaking one. It's Coaching Company live on Stadium, and we are a vibe.
Yes, there's a lot better. I'd be a star. I'd be a star in New York probably. I'd go to LA. It's a lot better. The weather is much better. But yeah, we're seeing Bobby Witt kind of taking over the Kansas City Royals. Now we're seeing Patrick Mahomes just kind of continuously just going to another level. The sports town part of Kansas City, you fans, I hate you.
Hey, I take that respectfully. Zaslow, you are unapologetically all Miami all the time, which I love. We need that part represented here on the show. But I come from Kansas City or in the parts thereof. If you're a big time athlete, I think Mahomes loves being in this kind of town instead of an LA or a New York.
Well, the NFL is different from the other sports in that regard. The NBA is very much, you got to be in the big city. Even you see it in Major League Baseball, the Northeastern teams, you're a bigger star when you play there. The NFL doesn't matter. Like, the NFL is so big that whatever one of the 32 teams you play for, just like Kansas City, and the other one was Buffalo. It doesn't get a whole lot smaller than Buffalo. And I mean, they live on the wall in Game of Thrones there. And Josh Allen is still a massive star. So the NFL is a bit of a different animal where it doesn't really matter what market you're playing in. You could still be enormous.
He's exactly right, Rafael. What do you make of that take from Z?
He's 100% dead on. Just because look at Sporting KC, their MLS team. They blow out numbers game after game. And we're talking about MLS soccer. We're not talking English Premier League and La Liga and all that. We're talking MLS, and they sell out. And Patrick Mahomes is involved with Sporting KC as well.
Yeah, he's a part owner, and they started a women's team there as well that his wife is a part owner. So he's investing back in the community just like they've invested in him. He loves living and playing in Kansas City. All right, we have crossed the halfway point. We're back live on Stadium in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are live on Stadium and all of their platforms. It's day number 1 of Coach and Company, and as we cross the bottom of the hour, I know there's a lot of people that are dropping in, so welcome. We're going to be here every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Also, if you don't catch us in the morning, don't even worry about it. We got you covered at 3 p.m. Eastern Time as well on all of the platforms. Amazon Prime Video. I've got the big screen on right to my left right now. We look absolutely glorious. Also, YouTube TV, Direct TV, Roku TV. You can find us anywhere and everywhere. This is how you grow a brand, and this is just day number freaking 1. Now, there's a lot that happened every single Monday. Could be good, could be bad. It could be both. But it's time for the weekend in review. All right, the weekend rewind, where my guys go back on one topic that they want to focus on to kind of bring it to the forefront here every single Monday. So, DG, I'm going to let you start it today because there's been a lot of chitter chatter about the guys they call the Zebras. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm just seeing on social media, everybody's losing their minds about the Chiefs. Did you not expect them to make the Super Bowl? Because I did, but everybody's complaining about the refs and helping them get to the Super Bowl. One, they're a good team. Two, I do think that they were benefited from calls throughout the season and in that last game. But my God, give them a little credit. But honestly, you're just a bitter fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I get it. Our team sucks. Like, we're not good. Our owner is terrible. But I'm not going to look at another game and another team and just say, hey, the only reason they're there is because they're benefited from the ref and the so-called flag that wasn't a flag, that wasn't on the field. Who cares? Just enjoy the Super Bowl. And honestly, as much as I hate to say it, enjoy the greatness that is Patrick Mahomes, because he is the best quarterback right now, and he might eventually be the best quarterback of all time.
Them out of it, which is hard for me to do. I know when I'm wearing it all over the place, but I agree with that last statement. In fact, his last line on one of his sound bites was, "I'm still a long way from Tom Brady, but we're starting to get there." And it's even in his mind where he is approaching now, and the greatness and the universe that he lives in pretty soon is going to be all by himself. Now let's stay with that fan theme. Z-Man, where are you headed today on the weekend rewind?
Well, by all accounts, the Super Bowl is featuring two great teams who maybe you could argue are the two best teams in the league. We should have a really good game. But I don't understand, there's this Chiefs fatigue that's out there. You got people who are all chiefed out. And then it's, hey, I don't want to see a rematch of the Super Bowl from a couple years ago. I don't understand that. If it's not my team in the Super Bowl, my team's the Dolphins. I'm here in South Florida. And listen, it's never going to be in my team. I'm not going to live long enough for it to be my team in the Super Bowl. If it's not my team in the Super Bowl, why do I care who's in the game? I just want it to be a good game. I hate every other team equally, so let it be the Chiefs, let it be the Eagles, let it be a rematch. Let them play 10 years in a row. What do I care if it's not my favorite team? Just give me a good game.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, 2 down. 2 to go. Rafael, you're over there getting excited. Where are you headed today, sir?
Well, if you had the ticket over under the word sucks 5.5, you can go to the pay window right now because we've said that word a lot today. But you know what? The good yesterday, fantastic. Bills Chiefs game. Thank you for a great game. Thank you for keeping my wife upstairs and me downstairs watch the game in peace and quiet. But the bad. They open up the Gatorade shower. Purple, 3-1. 3-1. That's right, people. 3-1. The Chiefs have won back-to-back games. What has been poured on Kansas City? Purple. Why is it 3-1? It should be plus 200, maybe even minus if you think the repeat is going to happen. But really, 3-1. Purple's the number one Gatorade drink served in New Orleans. Why 3-1? I don't understand.
Those of you who are new to the brand and what we do, Rafael, his day job is making lines for everything under the sun. So you want to come here, you'll get anything when it comes to numbers. He is our guy. My topic for the weekend rewind, I'm going to go to Josh Allen. And I watch a lot when I'm sitting here in the friendly confines, and you start to really like certain people. Recently, they replayed, they have a children's hospital in Buffalo where you go and you can create your own shoe, and then you play them with the kids that are, most of them are terminal, some are fighting for their lives. And Josh Allen is one of the best dudes in the NFL, one of the nicest guys in the NFL. It's really hard when you get to be a little bit older, into your 40s, or some people into their 50s, and you start to look at somebody and say, man, it would be nice to see them win just one time. And I started to feel last night, as the Chiefs beat them again for the 4th time in 5 years, that he may indeed be the Jim Kelly of our generation. The last time the Bills went to the Super Bowl was 1993. They went 4 times in a row. Imagine 4 times in a row and you don't even win one of them. Or you're Dan Marino, you never win one. Josh Allen is a Hall of Fame talent. And when I watched him standing up there and having to answer those questions when he was on the brink of tears, my heart was breaking for him, because he may never win one simply for the fact that he played during the Patrick Mahomes era. Now, speaking of great quarterbacks, Z, I'm coming right back over to you, because during our little break, as we got our new show up and running, the Raiders went to the well, over 70 years old. Pete Carroll and Tom Brady reportedly very, very involved in the decision. And yet he called a championship game also yesterday on Fox. It's banana land to me. But what's crazier, the fact that Pete Carroll's now a head coach of the Raiders, or that Tom Brady is doing all of this at the same time?
Man, I got no problem with the Brady thing. Just no problem with Brady being, an executive with the Raiders and then also calling games on the weekend. It does not bother me for a second. As far as the Pete Carroll hire, I think it's a great hire. Yeah, Pete Carroll, I know everybody wants to say, oh, he's 73 years old. He looks like he's 43. Okay, fine. But Pete Carroll clearly has several years left of football in him, and that right there is why it's a great hire by Tom Brady and the Raiders organization, because they only need a few years out of Pete Carroll. They're not trying to hire the coach in Pete Carroll who's going to be there for the next 12 years. They need a guy who could help this team get on track, create a culture, have the organization get organized. And Pete Carroll, you give him a few years, he's already shown you he can do that. Remember, he took over his Seattle team. They weren't in great shape. Matter of fact, they didn't have a quarterback either. You remember, they went and they gave all the money to Matt Flynn, who was the backup in Green Bay. They drafted Russell Wilson in the 2nd round, and Pete Carroll said, you know what, Russ is my guy, and away we go. They just need a few years out of Pete Carroll there. in Vegas to get this team, to get this organization on track. The next hire will be a young head coach.
Great bridge, and that was a great take because Rafael, they need to get from, and I said this many times, as you guys know, Antonio Pierce was not going to be a good head coach. I've been on record. And so now they have this bridge, Rafael, that they can now get to where they need to be with Pete Carroll, who clearly was high enough energy in their interviews for them to say, okay, he does have the energy it's going to take at 73 years old.
Yeah, the Vegas beat writers all week are saying he's bringing culture. He's going to be there 2-3 years, and then a younger generation of management and coaches will be there. Great hire. Just bring a voice that people are going to respect. People respect Pete Carroll in the league. He's going to probably bring in some nice free agents because it's Pete Carroll. Now, is Russell Wilson going to go there? Everyone thinks the reunion's going to happen. I think that'd be a horrible move for the Raiders, but I just think for a coaching standpoint, great hire. And boy, who has left over? The Saints are still looking for the coach. What are you doing, Saints?
Amazing. DG, as I come over to you, let's go over to your Cowboys because you also hired a head coach during the last week, and it's a guy whose father, this is kind of shows my age a little bit. I actually did a commercial with Marty Schottenheimer. When I started my career, there's a local grocery store that carries something called the Wolf Pack. It's like, 10 pieces of chicken, coleslaw, and all that. And I was in a Wolfpack commercial with Marty Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer is now your new head coach. Of all the names that were out there, this was not the one I thought they would go with. What about you?
Yeah, this isn't the one that any Cowboys fan wanted to go with, that nobody expected this to be the hire. And honestly, it's sad because this seems like a Band-Aid to the point of it's a yes man for organization. And I don't know what Jerry Jones is thinking, and obviously nobody really does, but why go that route to get a yes man? Maybe do something different. Mike McCarthy, in all honesty, is probably a better coach than Brian Schottenheimer. We don't exactly know, and maybe because Dak gave him his blessing that he really likes Brian Schottenheimer, but I just don't get it. I don't understand the direction. I don't see him as being a real head coach. I think he's a good offensive coordinator. I think he's fine, but in all honesty, I just don't see this direction. I don't know why they went that way.
Ask you this. Why do you think Dion turned them down, and why do you think they went with Schottenheimer?
Well, I mean, do we know for sure that Dion was offered
that's
the
true.
job?
That's true.
That's true. I'm not so sure about that. But the part that's interesting to me is I feel like Mike McCarthy may have overplayed his hand. He obviously didn't like the offer that Jerry was making for him to stay on board. And when they decided to part ways, to me, it seemed like McCarthy knew, hey, there's a bunch of other jobs out there. I'm going to be able to get one of those. And now we're down to just one. There's the Saints job. So if McCarthy doesn't come up with that one, I don't know. I feel like it comes out with a little bit of egg on his face that maybe he should have stayed in Dallas. Could have continued to be the head coach of the Cowboys.
I think that's a very good take. And sometimes, Rafael, you do play your hand. But when you're dealing with Jerry Jones, it can be a very scary thing to do. You got about 30 seconds, sir.
Yeah, I haven't heard that Dion was accepted a job, but for the Saints, they wanted Joe Brady, and Brady turned them down. So I think I heard they're looking at Cliff Kingsbury now. They're not even looking at Mike McCarthy. They're looking at younger guys. So McCarthy may be with us at Coaching Company next week.
Very true. We're accepting all applications. It's really crazy. Joe Brady, if people don't know, the play caller for the Buffalo Bills, and Josh Allen does not want him to go anywhere. He loves Joe Brady. And Cliff Kingsbury, we know what happened in Arizona. We know what happened. He became a legendary play caller, which maybe that's what he is. Maybe he's just a great offensive coordinator. He got the Commanders to the brink of the Super Bowl. But as a head coach, he wasn't all that great in Arizona. But we'll see. We'll see. I think younger, innovative, that would be a really good thing. All right, basketball, we got to start focusing more on that as we move forward. Coming up on the other side of the break, what is the NBA game tonight on a full slate that my guys are most looking forward to? It is Coaching Company. It's a Monday, and it's day freaking one. Dimerbox, one of the presenting sponsors of Coaching Company. Use the code COACH10 and you can get 10% off site-wide. I have mine here in the office. They're absolutely incredible. They really, really are. All right, we're back on Stadium Live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is Coach and Company Day freaking 1, and we've had a great time so far. The vibe is awesome, a lot of positivity, an incredible group of guys and ladies that'll be a part of the entire brand. Now, to be clear, behind the turnbuckle is the brand, BTT. We have shows underneath that umbrella, Coach and Company, twice a day on Stadium. The Last Word tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, also on Stadium. We also have, if you like more pro wrestling, the Coach and Bro Show with me and Vince Russo, but it's all going to be on one page. We encourage you to subscribe to that page. And by the way, our Gabriel Iglesias video, thanks to all of you, today, this morning, hit over 100,000 views on that interview. Absolutely incredible. You guys are awesome. All right, let me bring my guys back in because we've got to start really honing in, guys, on basketball. Now that football only has one game left, and tonight it's a full slate. It is 12 games. And Z, I want to start with you. Give me a game tonight that you're most looking forward to, and tell me why.
Oh, I mean, it's the Magic and the Heat. I mean, obviously, I'm watching it because it's the Heat. I never miss my favorite little basketball team play. But Jimmy Butler's back with the team tonight after a 2-game suspension. So he's available. He's not on the injury report. He's likely going to be back in the starting lineup. It's must-see TV. Now, for a Heat fan like myself, it's obnoxious because this is dead team walking until Jimmy Butler's moved on. He doesn't want to be there. I don't want to watch him. And the team plays very uninspired, knowing that you got the guy right next to you who doesn't care to be there. But Magic Heat, that's must-see tonight. Who the heck knows what Jimmy's going to do?
I thought Charles Barkley had a great take. He said all he's doing right now is losing money. That's all he's doing. He could have played till he got traded, but he's lost over $3 million at this point that he's not going to get back. But he wants a big extension, so we'll see. Thank you, Z, very much. All right, number 2, Rafael, I'm coming over to you. What game are you looking forward to tonight, sir?
Well, Coach, one of my favorite movies is The Batman, The Dark Knight. And the Joker says, why so serious? And the Joker in Denver is looking up at the MVP boards and says SGA is ahead of him. And boy, what's the Joker been doing? Putting up some crazy numbers. Will Chamberlain type numbers. He's playing against the Chicago Bulls who play no defense whatsoever. The Joker could have 50-50 tonight, 50 points, 50 boards. That's how bad the Bulls will be playing. I think the Joker has a big game tonight. I'm excited to watch Denver versus Chicago.
They're one of my 3 favorite teams to watch right now in the NBA. They're playing fast, really, really fast, scoring a bunch of points. All right, we've got DG next, and then we're going to bring Charles back as well. So, DG, maybe this is a dumb question for you. What game are you looking forward to tonight?
It's definitely the Grizzlies at the Knicks. It's at Madison Square Garden. And, Coach, you know I'm going to be watching it. I have the post-game show with Grizz 901 on behalf of Bluff City Media. But I'm going to be also on the Knicks Film School today here at 12 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you tune in as well. We're previewing the game. But I'm looking at this game and seeing 2 guys who are just unicorns within themselves. And we have a unicorn here in Memphis. It's Jaren Jackson Jr., but also there's Karl Anthony Towns. Both guys are playing incredible basketball. Both guys will be all-stars, especially Karl Anthony Towns, who's an all-star starter for the West. I want to see this team and how they match up. But if you want to look at betting, look at the over. Look at the first half over. Look at the first quarter over. Both these teams really look to get up and down early in the game, and then it slows down towards the fourth quarter. But the first half should look for being over.
15 are the Grizzlies, 30 and 16 are the Knicks. 2 really good teams. Big Chuck is back after spending some time in the chat. Charles, what NBA game do you got your eyes on tonight?
Cavs, Pistons. Cavs games, they just like to go over the total. It's went over in 14 of 19. And get this, Coach, on Mondays, they especially like going over. These 2 combined teams. 11 of the last 14 combined games have cashed to the over also. For whatever reason, they get up for Monday games. And also look at Nets and Wizards. I've been finding this trend. These are good under teams. If you like team total unders, look at those Nets and Wizards also as some little bonus plays.
You want more picks and all that, follow my man Big Chuck on the Twitter, and he's got some other stuff that he does there as well. You can get a lot more picks if you want to invest with him, so we're always going to promote that. So Charles, thank you very much, sir. All right, now if you weren't here at the top of the show, and I know there's a lot of you because you got a lot of things going on, don't even worry about it. We got you covered. It's time to lock it in. This is where if anything changes during the hour, we change it and we lock it in for the day. I absolutely love it. All right, Z, I'm going to start with you. Give us yours. 10 seconds, 1 or 2 nuggets. Let's start right there.
Nothing's changed for me. These are winners, all right? Orlando Magic giving 1 point. They're at the Miami Heat. I told you got to fade the Heat when Jimmy Butler is in the lineup. Very uninspired brand of basketball when Jimmy is with the team. So we're going to go Magic -1 and NBA parlay. Give me the money line for Milwaukee, Dallas, Sacramento. We're talking good teams playing bad teams. We're playing the good teams. Money line, just need those 3 teams to win, -140.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Miles Bridges over 18.5 points at -105. Miles Bridges plays for the Charlotte Hornets. They suck, as we all know. But I'm going to go with the guy who wants to score and put up big numbers because that's all he cares about right now. So I'm going to go with Bridges there. And then we're going to go with Nick Richards, which is the last game of the day. We're going over 9.5 rebounds at -115. He's averaging a big number since he's joined the Phoenix Suns. He is their starting center, and it's going to be for the future. So I like Nick Richards to get 10 rebounds tonight.
The Clippers, they're really good when they have all their players. They are not very good when they do not. They're 2 completely different teams. Be very careful. Look at those starting lineups. You're going to bet that game. All right, Rafael, coming over to you. What do you like today?
The big lock it in is the producer man's graphics. Those are sick. That's the big lock it in. We're going for the Lakers team total over 113.5, laying to 3 nickels. Lakers playing some good ball winners, a 5 out of 6. I think their offense blows up on the road against Charlotte, so I like that team total over 113.5. And give me the big man. Yes, literally the big man, Zion Williams, over 21 points tonight, -110. He had a great game his last game, scoring 24. I think he has a big game tonight, so I like the Zion Williamson over 21 points.
And 2 of our favorite words at Coaching Company are day soccer. Big Chuck, you're up.
I've had these locked in since last week. Some Serie A action, Venezia and Verona. We're going to go with the both teams to score. Venezia 1.1 team goals at home. Verona 1.3 on the road. 1-1, 1-2 type final score. And then Verona first half team total over half a goal. Venezia is basically allowing 60% first half goals in 10 matches. Lastly, La Liga from the Basque Country. We have Alaves and Celta Vigo, another both teams to score. This one just smells of a 1-1 type final score.
Plus, and you can get all of La Liga on ESPN Plus if you want to watch those as you bet on them with Big Chuck. All right, we're going to end every single show with Rafael's Inside Info. Rafael, where are we headed today, sir?
I was waiting for it to look at the screen, but I have to look for it myself because I didn't add it in. But I don't know where my stat is. Well, I'll put it on my Twitter.
All right, you'll put it on. You'll make it a Twitter play. Okay, I got it. Are you going to make hitting the mute button a Twitter play as well?
I was trying to find the stat and I forgot to hit mute. Oh, I owe my wife lunch because she told me I was going to mute myself on the first show. So I owe myself my wife lunch. Damn it.
So, Rafael, I have your stat that you shared this morning. Is that the same one?
Yes, same one.
All right, so the stat is the Memphis Grizzlies total has gone over in 11 of their last 13 road games.
Thank you.
And they're on the road tonight in Madison Square Garden. Interesting. Your stat has something to do with a game today. Crazy thought. By the way, our live audience right now on day 1 is gigantic. You guys found us. It took you all of 1 day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Gentlemen, we're about to have a blast every single weekday. Producer man, I need that one shot because you all need to understand that moving forward every single weekday, we're going to be here live. We're going to look at all of the sports, not just some of them, all of them. We're going to have content across all of these platforms. But I do want to thank all of the people, all the executives, including David at Stadium, for making this possible. I understand, have I missed this? There's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire company. I love them all. Z-Man, DG, Big Chuck, Rafael, and shout out to Producer Man. On another level, I am simply the coach. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about right here at Coaching Company. Have a great day.